What's going on, guys, and welcome to part 5 of my team career mode. This is for round 4 of season 1, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, Azerbaijan is it's a circuit. Baku is a circuit that I'm actually pretty familiar with and I do quite like. It's one of my favorite on the game, so I was looking forward to this one. We start off with the activities, and we've got just a bunch of things going on here. Some funded events, some simulator training for my second driver, Christian Lundgaard, to get his stats up a little bit, and just trying to figure out what other little things I want to do. You know, looking at our R&D, whereabouts we're sitting, what sort of stuff should I do. So I decided to just do a couple of like PR sort of things. We then look at our R&D, we get an engine upgrade from what we did in the past, and then we also get a durability upgrade as well, so that's always good, getting our durability up. And we're actually going to, I believe, put the turbo upgrade on, because we're always wanting more durability upgrades. They don't affect the R&D with like other teams, but they are still, you know, you want to do it, because especially in this game now with the random faults. I mean, to be fair, the random faults can happen even if you've got a perfectly new engine, perfectly new parts, but really keeping the durability up is still a good thing. I unlocked the first kind of sponsor slot as well, so we've got the main sponsor and we've also now got a secondary sponsor slot, so that'll give us hopefully a little bit more money, so we go for Zanetto.
It looks like our driver has an issue. We need you to step in here.
So we've got another kind of personnel department event. I can't really read this one here because I haven't written it down. But basically, Lundgaard wants to do some other special training or something, and we have to basically say yes, you can, or no, you can't. So we decide to decline.
Thank you.
No worries. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. We're ready to go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So round 4, we are going into Q1. So the car is currently sitting as the 9th fastest car. We've dropped below Alfa Romeo, I think, last time out of Monaco. So we're not that likely to get through to Q2. We did actually get through to Q2 in Monaco, but yeah, we've fallen a bit further away from Alfa Romeo again here. So unfortunately, you know, just haven't really been able to, I don't know, just the upgrades that we have been putting on the cars, a lot of them have been failing. They take a long time at the moment, and yeah, generally we just haven't really been able to put many upgrades. You know, a lot of the other teams, they're getting upgrades in every week, you know, race weekend or two, whereas for us, we're kind of having a couple of weekends where we don't have any upgrades or very little come through, and then we have like one weekend where like 4 upgrades come through, because I've done, like, you know, they've failed once and now there's a 0% chance of them failing the second time round. So it's something that we've got to work on. We've got to get the quality control up on the facilities. We've got to get the time, you know, with how long it takes for them to complete. We've got to get that down as well. We've also got to get the, you know, multiple upgrades option, because at the moment we can only do 1 upgrade per facility, apart from aero, which we've got the 2 upgrade for. So yeah, this is our Q1 fastest lap. It was an alright lap. I think I could have gone a bit quicker. I'm not 100% sure where this put me, but yeah, this is my 3rd lap, so I think this was my... Oh, that's what went wrong here. I was going on for a really good lap, and then I slightly clipped the inside wall and then the outside wall as well, so that lost me a lot of time. We still ended up going quicker. I think we were about 5/10 up originally, but after that little bang against the walls, I only ended up about 2/10 up. So it actually works out that I probably would have got through to Q2, or I would have at least been probably in 17th place. I might have overtaken Russell for 17th, but that would have probably been about it. So it's 19th place for us. We've got a bit of work to do in the race, that's for sure.
A warm welcome to all of you watching at home to today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama. A 4th row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as a pole position would. And remember, in 2017 and 2018, both Lance Stroll and then Sergio Perez took surprise podiums here. The Baku City Circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers and is made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to catastrophic consequences for all of our drivers. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Verstappen, Sergio Perez and Leclerc, Norris, Sainz, Vettel and Lance Stroll, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen and Ocon, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Mick Schumacher, Shaw, Mazepin, Latifi and Christian Lundgaard. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Alright, so here we are at the start of round 4 of our career mode, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. It's a little bit of a delayed start from us. Mick Schumacher up front kind of covers off to the right. Mazepin goes absolutely, descends it into turn 1 on the left, but then gets a horrible exit over the curb. We have a little bit of a collision with Giovinazzi on the outside, apparently, but that no damage would have been done there. And then Mazepin does not get a very good run out of turn 2, and we get up alongside him. It's now a drag race down to turn 3. This is a very good overtaking spot. This will have DRS in the later laps. We end up sticking around the outside of Mazepin. We're not going to let him get past us. He's a not massively slower car at the moment. Now that, Haas and Williams have kind of caught up to us a little bit, and we've dropped away from Alpha a little bit, but we managed to get the move on Mazepin. We don't want to get stuck behind him for that long, so now we're at the back of Tsunoda. We're up into 16th place, so we've moved from 19th up to 16th. It's been a very good first half a lap. I always struggle with this corner here coming into the castle section. It's a very difficult section of the track, and yeah, you can just understeer and it just be a bit of a pain. Looking at the restarts, and it's a big squabble there. You can see Mazepin absolutely dive bombing up the inside, but then he gets it on the curb and gets a little bit sideways. I mean, that's just what the AI do in this game. They're absolutely crazy, just sending it into the first corner, and they just go crazy. I've had it a couple of times playing this game. As you can see, this is the bit we saw before, going side by side with Mazepin down this kind of second straight, or first, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. We just hang it around the outside. We keep two wheels on the track, so it's a completely legal overtake. I just didn't want to get stuck there, and I was somewhere in front of him anyway. We look again from the front, this time though from the start, looking at the front of the grid, looking at Sergio Perez, gets his way up into 4th place. And then it's side by side with his teammate Verstappen. They go side by side round turn 2. Look, it's a lot of side by side action there. And Perez is ahead of Verstappen right now. And Verstappen's about to come under fire from Daniel Ricciardo behind, but he just about manages to keep it. They get around there, and it's a good start for the two Red Bulls. We go through to lap number 6, and we're kind of just stuck behind Tsunoda here. In a little bit of a DRS train with the cars in front. I believe he's got the 2 Alpines ahead of him. There might also be Gasly up there as well, and I think maybe Raikkonen too. Looking here on the end of lap 6, and we are sizing up a move. No, we're not quite sizing up a move yet, because Antonio Giovinazzi is sizing up a move on us. He tries going around the outside into turn 1. We kind of shut the door on him. We're not going to let him pass. Yeah, we just... Giovinazzi was keeping up with us in the DRS. You know, the thing with this track is that there's a lot of straight, fast...
Information on Alonso may have some kind of mechanical problem.
There's a lot of fast, straight sections, and then we get a little thing there. Fernando Alonso has got a mechanical issue, so he's going to be slowing down, and sure enough, he is starting to back up the rest of the pack. We catch more up to Tsunoda and Raikkonen and Alonso ahead of them up ahead. Giovinazzi is pretty much just following us through here, and you'll see behind him is Verstappen. The leaders have come in for their first pit stop and will have now pretty much caught up to the back of us, so we're going to have to let them pass soon. As long as we can let them, you know, they catch us in a decent spot, it's not too bad on this track, because as long as they catch you, you know, into like this sort of section here on the long straights, it's okay. Once we do get into the twisty sections, it can be a bit more of a pain though. So we come down here, we're catching up to the back of Tsunoda, pulling Giovinazzi along with us, and he's got Verstappen behind him. Alonso is backing this pack up a little bit. Raikkonen in front has managed to get past him, but now Alonso is ahead of Tsunoda, and he does seem to still have that issue because really not showing some great pace here. Ocon up the road has moved, his teammate has got a decent gap up ahead. Raikkonen is going after him up there, but yeah, Alonso just not showing good pace here because obviously he's still suffering with that mechanical issue. We go through this very quick section. They're getting very close to the inside wall, but we managed to get through without touching it. Tsunoda up ahead is looking for a move on Alonso. He's obviously down on power here, and Tsunoda quite easily breezes past him with DRS and probably a bit of ERS too. And then now Alonso is right in front of us. We get a very good run off that corner, and he just doesn't, so we kind of go to the left, switch back to the right, and then he's all over the place. We're going to do a beautiful little switchback move on him to the inside, get the DRS, and we're just going to absolutely fly past Alonso. That was a beautiful switchback there. I love that move. It's probably my favorite move that I've done on someone so far in this career mode. Just such a good moment. And we'll see it here again from the replay camera. So he just gets a bad run off that corner, and we kind of duck to the outside there. He starts wheeling around all under braking, and then we just do this beautiful switchback. We're millimeters away from hitting the rear of his car and knocking off part of our front wing, but we get it done cleanly without colliding with him at all, and we're well clear going into what is, I believe, turn 3. So we're catching back up to Tsunoda again. Alonso is way back there now. He's dropped back a lot. I decide that I'm going to actually come in a little bit earlier than expected. Now, I think originally my strategy was to come in on lap 12, which is what we're on now. But then my engineer said, hey, why don't you come in on lap 14? But I've decided to switch back again to lap 12 because I think we can get an undercut on Tsunoda because he's not coming in yet. I believe this is a one-stop race from mediums to hards, so we're on the mediums. We're now going on to the hards. The original strategy would have had me on the mediums and the hards for about the same amount of time. So I thought, you know what? If we can do the same amount of time on the mediums as the hards, then surely I can come in a little bit earlier and yeah, use those hards a little bit more. Looking at the front of the grid, Valtteri Bottas here, Lewis Hamilton was ahead of him, and he's already pit trying to get the undercut on him, but Bottas has ended up, even with the, you know, pitting second, he's ended up ahead because Lewis Hamilton has got caught up with Esteban Ocon. He's already done his pit stop, but he's got slowed down by Ocon on his out lap from the pits and has not made the undercut work on his teammate. So Valtteri Bottas is ahead. Lewis Hamilton, he's just about now managed to get past Ocon, but that's cost him a lot of time. Meanwhile, lap 14, we see Tsunoda coming out of the pits, and look at that, the undercut has worked for us. He was ahead of us before I came into the pits, but the undercut has worked. We now have a good gap. It's like 2-second gap to Tsunoda. However, Tsunoda will reel that in with a bit of a quicker car and also just generally some DRS. He tries going around the outside of turn 1, but that is not happening. You also see back there, Fernando Alonso has found his pace. He's coming, he's charging through the field. Obviously that mechanical fault has now fixed itself because he is once again showing some good pace. He dived up the inside of Yuki Tsunoda into turn 2, and he's now side by side with the Japanese driver. They're going side by side into turn 3. They're still side by side here, but I think just about, no, they're still side by side. It's a great little battle between Tsunoda and Alonso here, but Alonso just about manages to come out ahead, and now he's going to be coming for me.
On Ocon, they seem to have an issue.
And it's all issues for Alpine today, as now Ocon has an issue. So Alonso had an issue earlier, he seems to have overcome that issue now, but now Ocon's got an issue. He's 2 places up ahead of us, quite a way in front though, so it'll be a while until we see him, I reckon. But now though, on that same lap, Alonso is coming around, he's got DRS, there's not a whole lot we can do. I don't really want to waste too much ERS. Fernando Alonso gets back past us again, so yeah, obviously his car is now good because he's going to slowly start to pull away, or actually relatively quickly start to pull away from us. That Alpine car quite a bit quicker than us now. Was a little bit closer at the start of the season, but yeah, we've dropped back a little bit and they've just kind of gone up a bit. So that Alpine car not really on the same sort of pace as us, and now that his car's working well, he's just going to kind of go off into the distance. We've got some more back markers, not back markers, some more quicker cars that have already come in for their, I presume at this point, their second stop. Lance Stroll is behind us here in the Aston Martin. He's just going to go up the inside. Once again, I'm not going to fight it, but I am going to just watch out because Yuki Tsunoda, he's there, he's got the DRS off us and he's trying to go around the outside again, but I'm not letting it happen. I'm not going to let him get past. I'm just going to hold my line, and I've just got to hold back Tsunoda for the rest of this race. It's going to be difficult on a track like this. We've now got Vettel behind us as Sergio Perez sets the fastest lap of the race. Once again, Sergio Perez, I'm just going to let him go to the inside at this point, outside for the next corner, but he's going to be well past us here. It's actually Sainz behind us now, so we've got Sainz between us and Tsunoda. Tsunoda's the one that we are racing here. These other guys, I'm not going to fight them because it's just going to lose us time and probably not make them that happy either. We go through to turn 2 and there is a yellow flag. Don't know what that is. What is going on there? Sainz has dropped back on our little leaderboard on the left there. Has he got an issue? And I believe, yes, Sainz has retired from the session. There you go. Pops up on the screen. So yeah, he was right behind us. We were just about ready to let him past. And then he had a mechanical issue and retired from the race. So he's the first retirement of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix. His teammate Leclerc would be the next car, and I let him pass once again quite easily. Not going to fight him. Now it's Tsunoda once again back behind us. We don't really have a buffer. Oh no, we do. It's now Norris behind us. So we have Norris between us and Tsunoda. Yeah, probably Tsunoda's getting a little bit annoyed with that. Further up the front, we've got Sergio Perez making a move on Pierre Gasly for third place. He makes it around the outside of turn 1. A very, very good overtake there from the Mexican. However, he's still side by side with Perez. He keeps it round there. They're on the outside coming round here, but I think at this point he has done it. No, this is actually Max Verstappen that we're watching. Sorry, I'm completely... There's thunder in the background and I'm a little bit distracted. Max Verstappen also makes the overtake on Pierre Gasly, gets himself up to 4th. Now, it comes to Lando Norris coming to overtake us. Once again, like I said, he is also kind of in front of us, really. He's on a 2-stop, so we're just going to let Norris go past. But now we've pretty much got that. We've pretty much got Norris behind us now. We're on lap 24 of 26. Norris is the next car behind us, and Tsunoda is the next car behind us. And now we don't really have much of a buffer because it's Giovinazzi behind him. So it's pretty much a straight fight between me and Tsunoda for the last 2-3 laps here. Going down the main straight, going onto lap 25, Tsunoda gets up alongside. He actually gets slightly ahead of us into turn 1, but I'm going to brake late and I'm going to squeeze him out. I'm going to pinch him, and he is not going to get past there. I've just kind of got to hold this lead now. Part of me is like, do I just let him past at one point because I'm likely to be able to get past on DRS, but at this current point in time I'm thinking, no, I just want to stay ahead. So we go onto the, starting onto the back straight for the second to last time to go onto our final lap. Tsunoda is pretty close now. He's only like 4/10, just over 4/10 behind us. Closer than he's been most of the time. And I'm actually not going to use too much ERS here because at this point I thought, you know what, he's going to get past. Let's just wait it out. It's the last lap, but hopefully I can get past him either on this straight at the end, at the very worst, or maybe we can get him out of turn 2 on this next straight. So he gets past there, we're tucked up right behind him, we're going to get the slipstream, we're going to get the DRS. We do slightly bump the wall on the edge there, but there's no damage because it's like straight onto the side of the wall. So we're going to dupe to the left, dupe to the right, we're going to try going around the outside. It's the same move that we did on Mazepin, however from a little bit further back this time, but we get the move done on Tsunoda and we are back ahead of him. But now we've got to make sure that he doesn't get past us. The big thing now is we do not want him to overtake us on the final straight, because it's a very long straight. He'll have DRS, he'll have slipstream. So now what I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure I can harvest as much ERS as possible, so that, because I'm not going to have DRS, I'm not close enough to Lando in front. He is quite a way ahead of us, almost 3 seconds up the road. So I'm not going to have DRS. I'm just going to have to use as much ERS as I can. I try and use a little bit here to, you know, bridge that gap a little bit more before getting onto the back straight. But here we go. We're coming around the final few corners to get onto the straight. Sergio Perez sets the fastest lap of the race at the end. As you can see, Valtteri Bottas has won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It is all 4 races that Bottas has won so far, but here we are, we're coming onto the back straight. He's actually as close as he's ever been, only 2/10 behind us, and I'm just absolutely draining the ERS at this point. I can't do anything. I'm weaving around the track a little bit. I do not want to let him pass. There's thunder going on in the background of my house, but we just about beat Tsunoda to the line. We get, I think it's 13th place, I believe. It's very, very close. We just absolutely deployed all the ERS at the end. We dropped it all, but we managed to get the place over Tsunoda. It's not for any points, but hey, it was a bloody fun race.
Ends another Azerbaijan Grand Prix, a fascinating race and a well-deserved victory. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So there we have it. Valtteri Bottas wins again. He's been the only winner so far in all 4 rounds of this career mode. Will somebody ever win? Will Hamilton ever step up to the plate and win a race this season? Because at the moment, Bottas is absolutely dominating. Hamilton's in second, and you've got Sergio Perez in 3rd place. So we're just going to watch back that final lap with the replay cameras, because I really wanted to have a look at it. It was such a fun last lap battle with Tsunoda. So this is where he overtook me going onto the final lap. I slightly tagged the wall there. It doesn't really lose me any time though. We don't do any damage, so we just keep on going with it. But I've got the DRS down the straight here, and I've got ERS. As you can see, we kind of brake a little bit later, go round the outside, pinch him to the inside a little bit to get the move stuck. It's all ominous thunder in the background there. I don't know if you can hear that, but bloody hell, it's really thundering at the moment. It's all very intense. Yeah, we're just, at this point, we have to keep the position, because it's just vital that we get as far away as we can to go into the final lap, because he's going to have the DRS, he's going to have ERS, he's going to have slipstream. Everything is in his favour if he's close enough to beat us to the line, even though he's behind us at this current point in time. This is all through the twisty section. There's not a whole lot he can do here. I mean, he could potentially go for a crazy dive if he got the opportunity here. I think he does actually have a little bit of a look there. Look at him. He's like looking on the outside, looking on the inside, but he's not close enough. And we come around here to pretty much get onto the back straight. I mean, there's a few corners before the straight here, but it's pretty much flat out from this point onwards if you get the line right. And this is where I don't think I'm not on ERS just yet. I turn ERS on right about now, because if you do it any earlier than that, you can't take the full speed around that corner. And as you can see, I'm weaving around a little bit just to make sure he's not in the slipstream. I'm not blocking him per se, I'm just weaving to make sure he's not in the slipstream, and we just about managed to get the position. And this is how close it was. That's me crossing the line pretty much there, and that's him there. I think there were 0.041 seconds, so what's that, 400ths of a second between us at the end there. It was absolutely crazy. Bloody hell, my house is shaking. my missus is out for a walk. My girlfriend, she's out for a walk at the moment. I think she'll be back pretty soon. It's not actually raining yet, but we look at the race results. As I said before, it's P12 for us, actually. Better than I thought. Our teammate Christian Lundgaard down in P18. Not a great race for him, unfortunately, but I mean, he did okay. He's never going to be scoring any points anyway, so I think that's a decent enough finish. And into the driver standings, we are P11 at the moment, so kind of just stay where we are. We haven't actually moved, but we haven't scored any points since round 1 in Bahrain. And we'd be lucky to score points at the moment considering where the car is. So that's where we sit in the Drivers' Championship. Lundgaard is down in 19th, as you can see there. And then we go into the constructor standings and we drop below Alpine there because Ocon finished in 9th place, scoring 2 points. So now they're ahead of us. We're in P8 in the constructors standings. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.